My name is Matthew Salinger. I'm with coLAB Studio, and we're at our studio and home in Tempe, Arizona. I moved to Tempe 30 years ago in 1993 to attend ASU. I left for 2 years to finish my schooling in London, and I've been back since 1999. The bridges themselves are so important for the city of Tempe, that really connecting both sides of the freeway that have been, there's really no way to get across the freeway right now besides a couple of passages, but really further away from where all the action is going at the Broadway curve. So we're really happy that there is going to be these, or are going to be these two pedestrian bridges a mile apart from each other that will really connect Phoenix, Guadalupe with Tempe. We see the bridges themselves as something that is a framework that is embedding the city and improving the lives of people in the city. So we were trying to connect that to nature and thinking about the way that prickly pears are actually edible, not just the fruit, but the paddles, the young paddles are edible. And Native American communities have been using the plant for thousands of years because they recognize that it's really useful. So to us, the bridge equals something as useful as the prickly pear plant. And with the fruit above it, that's why we call it city fruit. Like the bridge is actually a piece of fruit for the city, something that's useful and enjoyable. Our hope and idea was that we would be able to create a piece of art that would be readily, accessibly visible by the cars going by at 80 miles an hour, as well as a really great experience for the pedestrians walking through or biking through the bridges. So we think about all the scales of speed. From the car, what you're going to see are these large, what look like prickly pear fruit sitting on top of the bridge, or both bridges. There are 10 fruit on top of each of the bridges. The fruit themselves are 8 feet tall, but the whole apparatus on top of the bridge will be about 10 to 11 feet tall. And so when you are in a car, and even if you're going 80 miles an hour, you're going to see this skyline of these weird shapes on top of the bridges. The bridges themselves are going to be painted a kind of bronze brown color that is what we see in Tempe. For the pedestrian, as they walk through it, what they're going to see is they're going to look up and they're going to see the bottom side of the fruit and the side of the fruit, and they're going to get to see it up close, more so up close, where they'll actually be able to see this interesting geometry that's there and the way that the materials are put together. And then at the bottom of the fruit, there's going to be a piece of steel that's structural, but it has some cutouts in it. And the patterns of the cutouts are taken from 10 different types of useful plants in the desert. And there are these beautiful patterns that Maria drew by hand, completely by hand. We transferred that into something that could, pattern that could get cut out of the steel. So, and then the top of the fruit has no steel plate, it's totally open. So what happens is that each one of the tilted fruit are programmed in such a way that one day a year, for just about 15 to 20 minutes at a time, the sun will come directly from the top, go directly at the angle the fruit is sitting at, and then shine the pattern of the cutout on the floor or the wall of the bridge. The experience is meant to be a much slower experience as you're walking through than when you're driving through, because you can see all of the detail that went into the artwork itself.